Hi there, it's Tim, and today I've got a real special one here. I've alluded to this in previous videos. I've mentioned there's a mystery guest coming on, and today we are with Eric Embacher. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I even said it right. Eric Embacher is the beginner, the starter, the founder of VIG, V-I-G, which is such a cool name. Welcome.
Thank you, Tim.
So, what I wanted to do today, guys, I wanted to just basically run through some questions. He's starting up a brand new electric scooter company. Why don't we just get out of the way? Why are you starting up an electric scooter company in 2022?
Yeah, interesting question. It's, I mean, the short answer is love scooters. Going to interject an interesting story. One of the reasons I'm doing it is actually because of you.
Oh no,
I'm
sorry to hear that.
Like a lot of people, I first took a ride on, I think it was a rental in San Diego at the time. And I got really interested. I love these things. So I started doing some research and whose YouTube channel came up.
Oh no.
And whose videos did I watch, you know, every single one for the first, about a month or so.
That's
it
hilarious.
was you. So I really got into it in learning about scooters, largely because of you. So thank you, or not, as the case may be.
Well, so you're a lifelong marketer. You're living right here on this beautiful island. We're actually on Vancouver Island in Victoria, British Columbia, specifically Oak Bay, which is like one of those little municipalities. And I've been making these videos, having a blast making these videos. And when Eric reached out and said, "Hey Tim, why don't we get together for a quick coffee? I just want to just shoot the can we say it? Shoot the shit with you." And so we got together and I had a little chat with you, and you had talked to me a little bit about the idea of getting into electric scooters. And I thought, wow, what a really cool idea. Now, specifically, what type of electric scooters are you sort of thinking of? Because when I look at the website, which I'm going to link to the website, I'm going to link to VIG and all those kinds of things, it looks to me like you're looking for like creating or working with people who are interested in longer commutes. I'll call them higher end scooters. These are not budget scooters that you're are developing and working with. What are your thoughts on that? Rather than perhaps the off-road, cheap special, you're going with good quality. Why is that the market? Yeah,
well, the idea was to first of all, I should maybe talk about why I got into this in the first place.
That's even better, yeah.
Other than being inspired by you, I have a genuine love of scooters.
Yeah.
I've been for years searching for some kind of business opportunity where I can get into the green space. Like I'm very, like a lot of us here on the West Coast, we're all about trying to take another car off the road, reduce our carbon footprint as much as possible. Scooters is a way that definitely appealed to me. But if I could actually do something that I'm really personally passionate about, make a difference in that way, and do a business and have some fun at it. And also, the idea was to address a need that I find with a lot of people buying scooters is it's easy to buy them, but it's not always easy to get service and support once you've bought them.
Okay.
A scooter is the kind of thing that, at least in my experience, it's not just something that you get and it runs fine for another 5 years or so. Things will go wrong.
Right.
At some point, or you're just going to need some help, or you want to maybe upgrade it or do something to it. There's a lot of information out there, but a lot of people buy scooters and they're kind of left to hang to drive with no after-sales support. So we really wanted to focus on that, is build a relationship with the customer and channel all this massive amount of knowledge that I've gained over the last couple of years, thanks to you a large part, and really try to be a company that works very closely with customers.
Well, and to that end, we arrived here today with basically on your two first creations. So these are the first two VIG electric scooters available. They'll be on your website now, which is kind of exciting. Yeah. So people can actually go in and order them. They're both very nice. I mean, I'm really looking forward to doing full reviews. They will be coming very soon. But like, is it commuter versus off-roader? Do you think about it that way, or are you just saying, no, this is?
The whole idea of a VIG scooter, what VIG is the brand really stands for, is scooters that are an elevated ride above your typical budget scooter, but below what we would call like the beast scooters, the giant scooters that I don't really know who they're actually for, but those people that really love to do a lot of off-roading. Now we're a sweet spot in between, but it's really all about ride quality. When we looked for the products that we were going to sell, you know, the first and foremost, the attribute that mattered to us was how smooth and how comfortable and ergonomic was that ride. So the products,
I've got to say, they're both exceptional scooters. They're both exceptional scooters. There's nothing, no ifs and buts about it. They're beautiful. Even just on the ride over here today, Eric, they were fantastic. What I would like to also ask a little bit about, I mean, we've talked about the company name VIG. Where does VIG come from? What's a VIG?
Yeah, that's when we tried to figure out the name. Actually, it was my wife's suggestion of VIG, and I'll say right away that it doesn't actually stand for anything, although it very much could, because we're in Victoria.
Oh, right.
And you know, I've often thought Victoria is great, but no,
right on.
to be honest, VIG actually means agile in Swedish, and it was an attribute that I thought, you know, agility, being a small company, we're able to zig and zag where the larger companies can't. We're able to be very responsive when it comes to supporting customers. When you're on a scooter, you're very agile in sort of the options you have of getting from point A to point B, whether it's you're zipping past the cars that are stuck in traffic, or you know, basically.
I mean, I always think of vigor when you first coined the term or coined the name VIG. I thought, oh, right, vigor.
Yeah, actually, I like that.
Yeah, that's really nice. So now you did mention just now about repair, and you mentioned about there are companies out there where you're sold it and now you're on your own. How would you differentiate how VIG is going to operate?
Well, first of all, we're only online. And I see that as a strength versus places that do have a storefront, namely because the amount of overhead that you have to accommodate when you're actually operating a physical location is enormous. So you have to sell your scooters a lot higher to afford that. So we're only online. Our challenges there are, well, how do we allow people to know exactly what they're buying? And well, that's, you know, we're not the only ones that have figured out the answer to that, and really the answer is a combination of you know, as many video illustrations that we can.
Good,
you
smart.
know, channels like yours who will actually do reviews, but we also do video consultations, so or virtual sort of consultations,
like Zoom,
like on a Zoom call.
So
basically, if you want to talk about anything and actually see it and have us take our camera and actually show it, you can book a half-hour call with us, and we'll basically take you on a tour as if you were there. So we're trying to do everything that we can up and to the point where you're actually on the device. You can't do that when you're buying it online.
Totally makes sense.
Of course, if someone's in Victoria or a local region, we're happy to actually we'll bring it to you and give you a chance to take a look at it in person.
Oh, what a smart idea. Okay, so you be able to do like test rides.
So yeah, if for local people, test rides, and again for anyone else who is buying a scooter online, you know, a lot of this happens, whether people are buying it on Amazon or other online retailers like us. If someone does buy it online and you absolutely don't like it once you get it, there is a money-back guarantee.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
It's as long as it hasn't been trashed,
right?
And as long as it's in in the same packaging and it's all ready to go. If there's something that you have second thoughts on, you can send it back to us.
That's awesome. Now, how about naming the actual scooters? Have you come up with an idea behind the naming? So we have VIG, Swedish word meaning
agile.
Agile. Thank you. Yes, good memory. How about the names of the scooters?
By the way, our scooters are not we're not a company. We're certainly not large enough to actually build our own in our factory here in Victoria. Now, just like pretty much everyone else that I've ever bought a scooter from, or any scooter I've ever ridden, they're made in China. Just get that out of the way. Even companies, other Canadian companies that we won't even mention, who
they do the same thing.
They tend to pretend, they like to pretend that they're actually manufactured in Canada. They're not. They're all from China. So we're no different. We bring them over from China.
Your flavor, if you like.
Right.
Yeah. So your flavor of scooter, you've got names.
The names, we tried to keep a Nordic flavor to them.
Oh, cool.
to go along with VIG. So we've got the Acer, and you'll probably put this somewhere up on the screen here.
Yeah.
The spelling
Acer
of it.
video footage now.
Yep. Okay, Acer, I should actually remember, I don't actually remember what that means, but we looked for some great words that again embody the flavor, the character of the scooter. Acer was one. The other one we're selling is Blade. The Blade works well because when you think of Nordic, you think of Vikings, and you think of giant axes and swords. So Blade works well, but actually Blade is a Chinese brand that is doing very well. We're selling the same thing. We're not really modifying that scooter at all. We're not really rebranding it other than calling it the VIG Blade and the VIG Blade Pro.
What have you actually learned? Like you're bringing in scooters from China. It's all been smooth sailing. You probably have pre-ordered 10,000. I'm sure there's like containers full of them. But in all seriousness, like what have you actually learned doing it? Like, is it impossible? Is it really hard?
Yes, it's absolutely impossible.
It's impossible.
Nobody should ever attempt.
Nobody should ever do this ever again. It's not easy, right? You've got communications. You've got, people are, 12 hours ahead or 15 hours behind. I can never figure it out. You've got communication with language difficulties or language differences. There are just so many different things. I don't even know where to start. You've got websites, you got all this stuff. What have you learned?
What haven't I learned? Yeah, I mean, it definitely was eye-opening dealing with physical products, because in my career, I've generally always dealt with software, non-physical things. So getting into working with suppliers and working with overseas suppliers and working with Chinese suppliers, yeah, there's a tremendous amount of learning there. I think the biggest lesson is it takes a lot of patience. Like we've been now doing this before the website even goes live, from idea to actually going live.
And researching scooters. I mean, you must have gone through a plethora of scooters to not only, did you buy scooters? If memory serves, because I've seen at least one scooter or two now, I think.
We made sure that
you were testing different scooters.
Actually physically tested it and tore them apart, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
That's go back to the lesson that we've learned. There's a lot of questionable stuff that you can buy and sell to your customer.
Right.
So it takes a lot of patience to weed through that and avoid that, and not only find the right products, but also build up great relationships with our suppliers. That's the biggest part, because often we'll find a great product, but with a company who just won't support us, therefore we can't support our customer. So in narrowing down a possible starting list of, say, 40 options, we've got down to 2 at this point that we're happy and confident with to sell and put our brand on it.
Right.
And so these are products that, again, we're intimately familiar with the product because we've taken them apart, we've tested them, a lot, and we've built up great relationships with our suppliers in China.
So you've got 2 different models, and the goal then is to look around and go, well, like put those out into the marketplace, listen to your customers, find out how they're being received. Do they love them? Where can these? I guess what I'm asking, what does the future hold? Are you thinking of reiterations? Are you thinking of designing models? What's sort of the 5-year plan? Perhaps is that something you can even think about right now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, there is a 5-year plan, and it's too early to tell how successful we'll be at it. We think we have a good shot, but yeah, the plan is that. As you say, get them out there. We've chosen what we think, because we've ridden a lot of scooters, just like you have. We've
one or two,
one or a few of them. We've ridden a lot. We've looked at the innards of a lot of them. We think they're the right ones, and they are what a lot of people are looking for right now. This elevated ride quality, but the market will tell whether we're in the right direction or not. So I have full confidence that we'll sell out the initial inventory, but there likely will be some lessons that we'll learn. We'll likely add models on as we continue this process of trying additional scooters, and there's lots of innovation happening in the industry, which is great. We'll add some on. We'd love to, and actually the plan is to, at some point, get to the point where we can have a lot more influence on the product that is built, because we're at an interesting type of company in that we're not a manufacturer or designer ourselves. We are really just buying pre-made product and rebranding them ourselves. Although, you know, we're very picky about what we're actually doing. We're not a company where we can actually tell the manufacturer, here's what we want you to build, because we can't order 1,000 of them at a time at the moment. Okay. But when we're at that point where we have some influence, absolutely, we've got some ideas of where the innovation needs to go. We like some of the innovation that we're already seeing that others are doing. We don't like some of the other innovation that's happening. I'd love to be able to get to the point where we're actually building what we believe is the ideal scooter for certainly primary West Coast riders, but those riders that are looking for, you know, great product, great price, not bargain basement, not the beast, that sweet spot in the middle that favors ride quality and comfort over anything else.
And you're doing it at a time where electric is such a buzzword. Like nowadays, my wife and I, we got rid of one of our vehicles. I noticed that you don't have multiple vehicles at your home. You're downsizing, you're keeping it simple. It just makes so much sense for the environment to just, you know, decrease how far we go or decrease the amount of time we're using our cars. Personal electric vehicles make an awful lot of sense. I guess my question, you know, do you have you went with the electric scooter over the electric bike, for example, or the electric unicycle, or the electric, you know, whatever it is, skateboard, for example. Is that because they're just more fun? Like, why the electric scooter over like an e-bike, for example? I
think that's a big part of it. And I remember one of the videos where you compared e-bikes to scooters, and you said, you know, an overwhelming factor in favor of the e-scooter is fun, and I absolutely agree. So that's a big reason for it. I mean, the form factor makes a lot of sense. Sure. It's something that you can hop on, you know, super easy, store out of the way, much easier than a bike. You know, there's a whole series of there's a great video there about exactly why a scooter is much better than a bike. Yeah. But yeah, fun is a big factor in it. That's, you know, part of the business mission is to not only convince people that yes, you can, like we've done and like you've done, sell that second car, because you just don't need it when you're in a city, certainly like this, where you've got great bike lanes everywhere. But also it's introduced some fun to people's lives. I have a blast every single time that I ride.
It is an awful lot of fun. It is an awful lot of fun. And these scooters are an awful lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to reviewing these scooters. What I would share with you is how would they get in contact with you if somebody's watching this video today, they're going to visit
vigscooters.com. That's perfect. The easiest way to do it.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions for Eric, please put those down in the comment. Send him an email off to his website. Thanks for watching.